Battle report from the previous chapter. General Gordon engages the dervishes on his way to Beni Saifi. The skirmish is a clear victory for the British troops. With the control established over the Nile, the British begin a massive recruitment of fresh troops in the regions already under British dominion. Aware of their inferiority, dervish troops decide to retreat from Gordon's troops. Kitchener and Sir Wolseley destroy the defences of Zagazig and gain control over the region. Fresh troops are sent south to comb the remaining areas controlled by rebels. By the time the rebels reach the settlement of Beni Suif, the militia is more than prepared and they defeat the remaining dervishes before the arrival of Gordon. An army of fresh recruits is sent to Helwan to pacify the region. Sir Wolseley moves his army to the Irish-Zagazig frontier and sends a letter demanding the complete surrender of the Irish region for the glory and for the will of Queen Victoria and the British nation. A British army composed of Sudanese soldiers reinforces Wolseley. Out of the blue, the dervishes request a ceasefire in exchange for free passage through the Sinai. The news is sent to Zagazig. Kitchener weighs the situation and accepts. Knowing that the Turkish are a more pressing threat at the moment, he decides to go along with the rebels. Just for the time being. With the situation stabilized, Kitchener resupplies and consolidates near the Irish border to begin the march through the Sinai to finally reach the Turks and establish a foothold on the region. Stuart is sent to Zagazig with the Sudanese fresh recruits. In Nicosia, a revolt threatens to cut the British army from their maritime supplies. In the south, Gordon begins preparations to leave Beni Suif. High Command has ordered Gordon to swiftly end the disturb of peace in Nicosia, Cyprus. Gordon arrives at Cairo and reorganizes the troops and takes final provisions before the expedition. After giving some instructions to the town watch and overseeing the towns in Zagazig, John Stuart returns back to Cairo. Now prepared, Kitchener and Wolseley advance through the Sinai in the now militarized region of Arish. The population gives supplies to the British troops. The British expedition to Nicosia reached the ports in the Mediterranean. The British Navy full of ironclads is waiting. Gordon and his men are ready to embark the fleet. Gordon is now en route to the liberation of Nicosia. Regarding the supplies and replenishment of the main army, Sir Wolseley and Kitchener discuss their possibilities. After some thoughts, both agree in seizing the Negev region and establish there a base for further operations in the northern areas of the Levant and deep into Turkish territory. At dawn, the British troops began the invasion, for the glory of the Queen and the United Kingdom. A new sun rises.
Hi fellow comrades, welcome back. Victus here. So let's go ahead and end the turn here. There are going to be a lot of rebellions here, but that is as far as we can do here. These guys apparently are bugged, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, and these guys are apparently rebels, but they appear, but they are bugged, as I mentioned before. So let's concentrate ourselves here. So let's go ahead and attack these straight. So we're going to go here and attack these guys over here.
Commence siege.
And let's advance Herbert Kitchener over here.
Forwards! March! Waiting for orders.
And before, because we can clearly go ahead and make these demands surrender, we definitely have the upper hand here. They just have Firelock, Armed Populace, which are mob. But before doing that, we're going to advance our fleet here.
Set sail. Jump to it and look lively. Aye, sir.
Let's see how many turns do we have up until the point we're going to do this landing here.
Ready and awaiting orders.
So we're going to wait for these troops
March!
here.
Any further orders?
We're going to be protected by these mountains here. And of course right now we're going to demand surrender
The
here.
swine rot in the stuff.
Okay, now we have several options here. We can peacefully occupy this region. This is a coastal province with which we can have, what do we have here? This is grains, as I understand, and this thing here is a depot, so we can clearly peacefully occupy, and we're going to use this supply warehouse. Is more than a depot. We see here in the building browser, we can see that the first is a supply post, and then a supply warehouse and a supply depot. So we're going to use that
Ready and
in
awaiting
our
orders.
advantage to have this moderate replenishment rate. Okay, so let me see what we got here. So we just captured the Negev region. These guys obviously surrendered. So that's what we're going to be doing in this at this point. So let me see if we move these guys. Yeah, I'm clearly going to move these guys into this
Forwards!
over here.
March! Any further orders?
And that's it. Okay, so we're doing very good with this replenishment. We're having a lot of supplies here. Now let's wait here for the next turn. And let's figure out what we're going to do here in the south, because we really need this harbor here, this trading port. This region is very rich. However, you can see that it has 252. It's not too much, but we can deprive the Turks from a lot if we take that. We have a supply warehouse as well. We could manage to take this. But by taking these in the same page that we have this Helwan Zeus area here, then we are going to have the complete dominion of the Red Sea. So we can clearly send our troops south there. We see in this harbor in Ashdod, we have an enemy fleet docked in there. We have clearances. We have in Ramallah, we have a musket manufactory. And here in Jaffa, we have, this is Jaffa, nowadays at Tel Aviv. Here we have clearly a court of justice, barracks, and small starfort. It can help us a little bit. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. We have this guy
Your
here.
Majesty,
Let me move him here.
on your Majesty's service.
This area. This is Amman, Jordan. This is the Dead Sea.
In the shadows.
Here we see a Turkish army here. So we can wait. So let's do that. The most important operation of this chapter is to retake Nicosia here. This is a powerful region for us.
Drop anchor!
Okay, the reason this is a powerful
Where to,
region
Captain?
is because of the amount of money that we can get from this town wealth. Is very wealthy.
Where Where to, Captain?
So let's
Come about.
drop the army here.
Awaiting further orders. At
Let's
the ready.
consolidate our troops in here.
Forward. Up.
So now with these guys we can advance straight in here.
Onwards. Ready for action.
And perhaps we can move this guy in here.
Come about.
Okay, so now what about this? We're about to get full replenishment here. We can go here and try to loot here. So we can try to see what we can do here. So let's send the 2 here. Let's see what we got. Minister here. Okay, now let's see.
Sir.
Okay, I think one more turn we're going to be fully replenished here. We can make this area to fall. Or as I mentioned before, we could go straight in here and take this. Which I think that's the best thing we can do.
At the ready.
So let's advance here.
Immediately. Anything more? Make ready. Hot.
Okay, and now we can move our troops here.
Forwards. March. Harvesting supplies.
Another mission.
Okay. We're not completely replenished, but
Make ready.
I think it's time for us to move.
Not possible.
So let's advance here. We need to request military access to the Bedouins. We're going to offer them 10 and demand 10. They did not accept, so we're going to do another offer here. Let me see if we can. Perhaps we can give them a region here. We're gonna give them this region. And in exchange, we would offer this. Okay, they accepted. So now this region is Bedouin. Apparently these guys are not at war with the Turks, so this is going to delay the advance of the Turks from here. So let's advance here. I think that was a good idea.
Sir, your orders? By the left. Maneuvers complete. Yes.
We're still getting replenishment here because we are allies of them. And now we're going to advance here and do the attack of this town.
Battalions ready.
So yeah, it says turns until starved out, 2 turns, so we're going to wait.
Siege works underway.
Let's see what we can do here. Perhaps we can advance here. This is a trading port. Or perhaps we can do a little bit of harm here. This is Tripoli. There's another trading port here in Beirut. Just move here.
All the way!
Okay, they are going to present battle against us. I'm going to decline. So let's push forward here.
Men! Forward!
Oh yeah. As they move through here, they're going to have a little bit of attrition.
This is not a healthy place to rest. You're humble, sir.
So you can see this is because of the actual desert. We're crossing here, desert here, so it's going to be difficult terrain here.
Sir, your orders? Lord?
Okay, let's advance here.
Forward! March!
My men will suffer if we stop here.
Forward! March! Yes, my lord. Forward for crown and country!
This is going to
My men will suffer if we stop here.
suffering for attrition or extreme heat. Okay, let's take this place
Sir,
straight.
they are trapped. Undaunted, undefeated.
We're going to peacefully occupy, and you can see it's going to be back in our hands. There we are. So let's send this guy here.
This is a ship, sir. Ship's orders, Captain.
So we can wait for these guys to get the slow replenishment rate, even though we are in... We took back Nicosia, but we don't have the barracks. So we will need to wait a little bit. And we're crossing right now here to attack Eilat. Yeah, so this is the attrition.
Your orders,
We
Your
got
Majesty.
attrition here.
Yes.
So now let's attack here again.
Form line for battle. Settlement under siege, sir.
Let's move this guy
Forward!
here.
March! They hide behind women.
So now what I'm going to do is to demand surrender.
The siege is broken.
They clearly are going to accept this, and I'm going to loot this area. The reason I did this is because we need this money to build up our strength here in Nicosia. So I want to rebuild here the barracks and the magistrate as well. We can clearly recruit some units here. Very important units here, which is this. Recruitment cost is very high, so we can recruit a couple of these guys. And from here we can take more of this. That's it. I think it's... Well, at the end we're going to lose money, so I think to recruit these guys is going to be a good idea. Okay, so now what we're going to do is to defeat these guys,
At
but
the
we're going
ready.
to wait. Just move these guys here, so
March!
then they can replenish, and these guys are virtually captured here. Yeah, they're running away. Okay, let me think if we can do something interesting here. So we recruited these guys here. Let's see here. Okay. Do we let these guys to run away, or do we follow them? If we follow them, we're going to suffer from attrition here. Okay, let them run. Okay, so I don't care if they are raiding this, because this is... well, this is an iron mine. We get a little bit of wealth with this, but it's not worth it at this point. There's no worth in that. So let me think. One more turn for those guys. So we have here these and these here. Let's see if we can move this army out from here.
Forward! Up!
Yeah, there's going to be a problem here. But I'm going to send this guy here.
Forwards for crown and country!
Yeah, this way we can clearly move these guys over here.
Forward! Anything more? Your Majesty.
We will need a commander here for these units to be able to replenish. I think we have a commander over here. Yeah, we have Mr. Stewart the Brave.
Awaiting further orders. Troops, halt!
So yeah, we're going to send this guy here.
By the left, march!
Okay, now I need to think. I believe we're going to use our spy here. Where's our spy? I'm going to send this spy to Damascus.
Stealth
That is
is
going to be a good idea. Okay, we're still getting our troops ready for the attack, and as you can see, the other listed victory regions held, we need to hold Galilee, North Sinai, and Rift Damascus. So the North Sinai is now controlled by the Mahdists, which we made a temporal ceasefire, not a peace. Let's say that we did a ceasefire with them. This is the last region that we're going to take, and then I have to take Galilee and Damascus to dislodge the power of the Turks in the region. To do that, we still have these guys here, right? We have these guys here. There's no need to rush into the north. I can still use these guys here. So I think I can take Mr. Charles Gordon with the camels and these guys here. Let me take this out. Still need a little bit of
Yes, my lord.
more guys here. Let me move these guys here.
Immediately.
Yeah, we're okay here. So in Nicosia, Cyprus, this guy is going to be left with these troops over here, and we're going to take
For order.
Mr. Gordon with all of these into the trading port.
Forward. March.
Then, if we remember, we have these interesting troops here. Recruiting these, but we don't have any money. We need to loot a little bit of troops in order for us to recruit those troops. Now let me take from here these guys. These guys look very nice. So let me take these guys here. And I will have to use one of these guys to loot. But I don't see... We're very far away from a looting position here. Okay, so... we can advance through here into this area, but I'm afraid that we're going to lose troops in this area because of the heat attrition of the actual desert. So I think it's not going to be a good idea there. Okay, however, we're going to wait for these troops
Ready and awaiting orders.
to reach here.
Forward.
Okay. Oh, we got them. And finally we have the Maxim gun. So this is very nice. So let's take the Maxim gun. I'm going to take these two guys, send them here,
Maneuvers
and
complete.
of course we're going to
Lord.
consolidate a little bit of troops here. This,
Forwards.
and this is Mr. J.H. Stewart. So let's send him here.
Make ready.
This way this army is going to be able to replenish. You can see that everything is now normal here.
Waiting for orders.
Okay, now,
Ready
well,
and
apparently
awaiting
these guys
orders.
should be...
Forwards.
This should be enough for these guys to replenish. I don't know why these guys are not replenishing. Send them here
Make ready.
and get a little bit of replenishment here. Okay, so now I'm going to send this... Yeah, there's a little bit of problem here. So let's do this. And let's take the army here. Let's take the army into the ships and move them south.
Sir, your orders.
Okay, and now... Well, this is quite interesting. This is a lot of rebels. Yeah, these are a lot of rebels, so we're going to need to escape from here. So yeah, let's do an escape here.
Forwards.
I cannot guarantee.
This is going to
my
be
men in
very,
this
very
place.
difficult.
Forward. March.
The army will lose men here. This is a terrible.
Okay, we're going to try to get in here.
Forward. Your orders.
It's
Your
going to be
Majesty.
difficult indeed
Troops.
to get into
Forward.
this area
My army will
without
suffer
losing
losses here.
troops, but we
Ready
need
for order.
to run away from here.
keeping vigil.
Yeah, we lost that.
Oh,
Okay, let's advance here.
Under sail. Drop anchor. By the left. March.
Yeah, finally we reached this area, and this guy can't replenish. We got these troops down here. Now let's move the Maxim guns
Ready
into
and awaiting
here.
orders.
Let's push these guys here.
Forwards. March. Gathering supplies.
Wait, where's the other Maxim gun? So one Maxim gun disappeared?
Yes, my lord.
That's quite odd. Yeah, so one Maxim gun disappeared from the stack here. Interesting. I'm pretty sure we had two Maxim guns. Or is that I forgot to move that? I don't think. Let me check here. Are we
Aye, sir.
missing something here? Because I was pretty sure that we had two Maxims. Here. Or it was because of the attrition, I believe. Not sure. Here's the Maxim gun, but there's just one Maxim. Okay, sad. We lost one. We can attack them, but I'm going to go north.
Forwards for crown and country. Sir, your orders?
My army suffers.
taking cover.
Well, yeah, this was weird. Where's the other Maxim gun? Okay, never mind. Yeah, a lot of attrition here.
Make ready.
So now we can advance here. Let's go here.
March! Your Majesty. Harvesting supplies. March! In position.
Yeah,
Sir, your orders?
we managed to survive the desert here. So here we return to the same position here. Okay. So this guy here.
Orders received and understood.
So this guy here.
Anchor. Army. Halt.
Your will.
It doesn't matter because we're not gaining anything. Even though we took that, I really try to take the port of Eilat, because I thought that by doing that I would be able to get a little bit of income here, but we are losing income either way.
Make ready.
So let's advance here.
Forward. Troops. Forward. Make camp.
At least we're in friendly territory, advancing to the north, so these guys could take Damascus.
Your orders.
So let's send these guys here.
Join our fleet, sir. Ready for action.
With one Maxim, sadly we lost the other one.
Orders
We're
received.
going to go straight to here.
Cover them.
Yeah. There's no other Maxim gun to be seen here. Never mind. What is this? Ah, the military access is expiring. We have just one turn. So if we don't move out from here, military access will expire.
Yes, my lord.
Very, very interesting. So we'll have to march through here, I believe.
Sir,
This is going to be the best option, so we're going to move through here.
for crown and country.
Still have the help of the depot here, I'm pretty sure.
Immediately. Waiting for orders.
So yeah, but the military access is about to expire, so we'll have to move further.
Immediately. At the ready.
So yeah,
March. Make camp. Your Majesty.
so yeah, that's it. Okay, there we go.
Drop anchor.
Let me see if we can get a little bit more of an access here. Since there are more military access, I would like to have indefinite military access in exchange of indefinite military access as well. Or perhaps a little bit of payment, which is going to be impossible because we don't have. So now we are in this position in which we are in this enemy territory. And let me see. We could try another military access. Okay, let me think. What about the troops down here? Are these troops enough to defeat these guys? I don't think. So let's try. Let's try 5-5 perhaps. Or let's try. Let's offer them 10, 20. Let's demand 10. Okay. We still have these 10 turns.
Lord.
So we're going to move these guys here so they can get a little bit of replenishment.
Your Majesty. Onwards.
There we go. And in the meantime, we're going to do the attack here into Acre. So yeah, let's raid here. Let's take the troops out. Okay, let's hope this is not going to crash. Oh, look at this. We have visitors here. Okay, so this thing crashed because these guys took here. So before this happens, I cannot move these guys from here. So what I'm going to do is to leave it right in here, and hopefully I'm going to fix this before this thing is destroyed by the crash. So welcome to this section in which I'm going to go through the British Army at the end of the 19th century in terms of the uniforms, and it's going to be some sort of a compendium of uniforms. So let's get on with it. Let's begin with these first three guys that we see here. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, and we're going to talk about this officer here. We see here an officer, a Scottish soldier here, and an artillerist here. So let's begin and talk about this. These were usually the anti-fly veil. That were used for protection, and they were used usually over the, so you can see here and here, over the pith helmet. We see here a officer frock, which is a red frock. Of course, this guy has gauntlets and has the typical pantaloons of the time and the field boots. He's holding a sword, and as well this belt here that is crossing his chest, this was called the Sam Brown belt. So this is the Sam Brown belt. Over here we see a artillerist with a different tone of frock, obviously. We already know that the artillerists, they had these different tones. And he has his usual rammer or sponge for the cannons. Usually this type of sponge was made for 12 pounders. We see that he has the pantaloons, which is the same pantaloons as this guy, but instead he has the field boots beneath the pantaloon. Over here we see the Scottish serge frock. We already know that this guy is for the Scottish regiments because of the so-called kilt over here. A distinction that we can try to understand why this is a Scottish regiment was in the facings here. This type of facings were typical for the Scottish regiments. So he has the so-called Scottish serge frock. Over here. He has a rifle here with bayonet. You can see the size of the bayonet over here. And the rifle that he's wearing is the Martini Henry rifle. That was usually in service in the 1885s. Something around the time that the rebellion of the Mahdist rebellion began. Let's go over here, and we see over here, yeah, I know, we already are looking at this guy here, because I have a video in which I show the actual unit on the mod that is wearing this type of uniform. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. But first, let's analyze this guy over here. At first glance, we can see that this guy is wearing, instead of red, he's wearing a khaki uniform. Now, another interesting thing is that his pith helmet is covered. And why is this? Well, these khaki uniforms were issued by troops or regiments that were from India. And another interesting thing here, if I do a close-up here, this guy is not using the typical field boots, but is using the puttees. These things here are the puttees. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing this right, but these are usually the leg wraps that we see on the 20th century in the fields of battle of the World War I. So we can see that in this time, these guys are already using the puttees, and here we see again black puttees in this uniform. Now, talking about these guys that are the most interesting from these three, at least in my opinion, these guys are part of the Gordon Camel Regiments. If you want to see the units on the Khartum and Zulu mod, you can go to this video over here, and you're going to see them on the game. Now, this guy is wearing an officer gray frock that we already talked, but this one is gray. He's wearing as well gloves, and these breeches here are called civilian breeches. Over here we have this guy here is part of the Grenadiers. So this guy has the men's frock over here, as you can see. He has the so-called men's frock. And of course, an interesting distinction is that this guy has a bandolier here. So these are the Grenadiers. Well, let's have a look at this guy over here. At first glance, we see that he has his pith helmet. He has his red frock as well. But there's a difference here that we start seeing, and this uniform is from about 1881. So something around here, there's going to be a change in the facing. So we have here white facings instead of the green usual facings that were used on these regiments. Down here we see, of course, if I zoom in here, what are you going to say that this is? If you remember what I was explaining, this guy is for the Scottish regiment. And an important thing here is that he's not wearing a kilt, as you can see. He's wearing the so-called tartan true. So there's nothing interesting there, and let's go here and let's see a little bit of a different guy here. Now, over here in this area here, we're going to concentrate in this image here, in this guy over here. What we see here is a more 1896. Here is a more scraping the beginning of the 20th century, in which we already see a difference in between the three of these guys. We see that they are not wearing red, so there's no red. So basically what they are wearing is the khaki uniform. So this is the time in the year 1896 to 1898, which is around the year of this uniform. We're going to see that all foreign regiments are going to be issued this khaki dress. It is going to be for the same as the Indian regiments, as I mentioned before. And another important thing that we can see here is that this guy, he has a pith helmet. Of course, this is a pith helmet, but this guy has a completely different one. So let me zoom in here, and this helmet here, this helmet over here is going to be called the New Wolseley helmet, with a broad rim here. And of course, this is the version, this guy over here is the version of the Scottish regiments with the khaki dress. And a distinction here that is going to tell us that this is of course, the kilt is one, but they are going to have these cutaway skirts over here, as you can see. And the rifle that is going to be on these regiments, this one over here, is going to be the Lee Metford rifle. Let me explain the thing that happened here. There was a problem here in Nicosia. As you may remember, we had some troops sent from here to this area in the area here of Acre, Galilee. The thing is that for some reason, again, this area rebelled, and at the very moment that the rebels took Cyprus, the game crashed. Now I have sent those guys again back in here. So we have here Charles Gordon again in Nicosia, and this time I'm going to leave these troops over here. So this is going to leave us with just these two armies on the Levant area to deal with the Ottomans. The first thing we can see here are two armies over here and one army up here. We have our spy here, Erwin Dudley, and I was thinking about sabotaging Damascus, but now I think that it's going to be better for us to send him south, because you can see these two armies, and I'm a little bit concerned about these guys. The reason is we have slow replenishment rate. Let me check here, because we don't have forever here. We have 3 turns remaining that they are granting us military access. They have military access to our lands, 13 turns. I had to do this exchange because if I was not to do that, then everything was, the whole campaign was in peril. So because of that, we ended like this. So we're going to push into here. The problem is that we have here, as you can see, we have here a very interesting area, because we can either march through here and go into this part of the lake, in the southern part of the lake, and march to Damascus, or we can move through this area. I think we're going to move through here. I'm going to pass through the north because we don't want to get trapped in here in between these 3 armies. I don't think we're going to have any problem in dealing with these, but I don't want to have to deal with 2, well, actually almost 2 full stack armies. So what I'm going to do is to send Mr. Garnet to the north. That's what I'm going to do first.
Men!
So let's march through here in this area. Now let's take into account that we are now in enemy territory, so we are not getting any replenishment.
Ready and awaiting orders.
So let's advance in here. This is a trade route in between the Bedouins and the Ottoman Empire. So let's move these guys here.
By the left. March.
Hopefully this guy is going to
Any further orders?
is going to see these two armies and not attack. However, these guys are not in reach. So now what I'm going to do with this navy is to raid the trading port of Haifa here. And finally we have these two gentlemen.
Aye.
So the gentlemen are useful for research and as well for public order. So I'm going to send this guy directly to Cairo. I'm going to explain why. Here in Cairo, if I uncheck the exempt region from tax, we get 2000 coin from this area. It's very rich, so that's something that we need to take into account. So I'm going to send this guy here.
At once.
And the other guy, which is up in here, I'm going to send him as well into this direction. With this guy inside, we are almost there for the public order to be stabilized in this area. So let's end the turn here. Now, as you can see, interestingly, this guy moved south, even though I think this is because he was not aware of this army here.
Yes, my lord.
So because of that, now that he knows that there's another army here, perhaps that's the reason he decided not to attack. So we have two options. Here we have a trading port, which we are right now thinking to raid. We were thinking to send, as I mentioned before, I was saying that Christine Fletcher, this admiral, was to raid this. Now that I think about it, we can see the dockyard of Sidon here, and over here the trading port of Byblos. This is another dockyard. So I think Byblos is going to be a better target.
Shape and Bristol fashion.
So let me send this guy here. So that way,
Yes.
this guy is not going to be aware of this movement. I'm pretty sure they cannot see me moving through this area. Now, Admiral Fletcher is going to be able to raid here. Now, do we attack them in here, or do we take the region of Acre? I think I'm going to take Acre. But before that attack, I'm going to send the gentleman down here.
Tingle with anticipation.
And now if I uncheck this, we can have the money and the public order is now stabilized. So you can see here. Beautiful. We're getting good. There's no more rebellions here. So right now, I think I'm going to take this area here. I'm going to go directly to take
Your Majesty.
this victory region.
The flag!
So we're going to raise the flag of Queen Victoria over here. We're going to besiege this area. We can't demand surrender because this is pretty much
The swine rot in the
armed
sty.
mob inside this
Your
region.
orders, Your Majesty. March!
Now let's send this other general over here.
Settlement under siege.
And now by the order of Queen Victoria, we demand a surrender of this city to the English Empire.
The siege is lifted. Make ready for
There we
battle.
have it. So we can peacefully occupy. We have a lot of good public order here because they are afraid of us. And now we have the money from the port of Haifa. We're getting good here. So let me see what we can do over here. We have this other region. I think we can send this guy here.
Battle ready. Yes, my lord.
I think I'm going to attack this guy here. Let me see if I can send the spy over here.
Unseen, unheard.
Now let's remember that the end date is 1889. Here he comes, the spy over the north
Seeking cover.
of the Tiberian Sea, Tiberian Lake. So now let me check this area. 16 and 12, everyone is very happy here. So now let me send this guy here, and I think this guy is going to be better. Perhaps sending this guy here, we're going to get a better position here.
Charge!
Let me loot this area.
Your Majesty.
So let's send these guys here.
Ah!
And to deal with these guys, I'm going to send the cavalry. Of course.
Ready and waiting for orders. We are mighty and unbowed.
There we go.
Forward! Ah!
These guys are now eliminated. Let me see if we can do something here.
Commence siege!
Again, demand surrender.
Siege broken!
We're going to loot. And now send them back.
Forward! Ah! Make ready! Forward! Ah! Forward! Ah! Men! Forward! Troops!
Great.
Forward! Make ready!
So now this area, definitely very poor area, is going to rebel. And we have enough money to fix things here. I'm going to fix... Oh, this is very expensive. However, we're going to fix it. The barracks as well we're going to fix in here. Is there anything else that we can do to fix some of these situations here? Barracks here. It's worth it. Is it here? We're going to do a little bit of court of justice here. Now it's going to take a lot of time. So it's not worth it. Here we see the drill school. Let me see here. Everything that can help. Perhaps here. Some sort of improvement here. We're okay with this. Okay, so now we can end the turn. Now the Ottomans, well, the Turks are moving southwards towards the Judean region. Now these Bedouins here have been fighting the Turks since the beginning of the campaign. They've been doing very well. Great. Okay, now let's try to send this guy here. And let's see if we can do something with this army here. I'm going to infiltrate.
Shadowing the target.
Successful mission here. So he got interested in spying. 5% chance per turn to spawn a spy. Very good. So now we can see the composition of our enemy. Let me pull this guy out. And now we're going to think about what we're going to do in here, because we see a full stack here. So I'm going to take all the units that are actually British. Apart from these two guys, they're going to stay here.
By the left, march!
Apparently is not doing anything good.
Sir!
So I'm going to leave the dragoons that are mounted in camels.
Forward!
There we go. And now we're going to march into Damascus. So let's move into here.
Forwards! March!
I think here we have better replenishment than here. Here we have moderate replenishment.
Setting up camp
Apparently we're doing good there.
at the ready.
We're going to march in here.
By the left, march!
So we're about to end this situation over here. Now let me send
Halt! Ship shape and
our general here into this port, the Tripoli harbor. I know it was here in Byblos because that's a trading port. Let's raid here. Let's show the Turks who is the ruler of the Mediterranean. Okay, now this port is now damaged. Okay, we're doing very, very good. And now we can start moving here. So we're going to advance in here.
troops, forward!
Even though these guys are not completely replenished.
You're humble, sir.
Let me stop here. Okay, this is something that I don't understand.
Yes.
Why is this happening? Because apparently the mod is not recognizing this guy as a general. That's the reason this guy is not replenishing, even though I am in my own territory. Okay, now I can take this out. So we don't want this place to rebel. Okay, and that's it. I think we're very good now. they were not able to take that territory. That's pretty remarkable from the Bedouins. Now they are reinforcing and they are defeating them. Pretty nice. Okay, now let's continue the march here.
Your
I
orders,
think
Your
we're going to
Majesty.
get straight into that position. So we're going to go directly here.
Forward! March!
Perhaps here is going to be okay. Just to
Anything more?
get a little bit of replenishment before the attack. Here we have as well moderate replenishment rate. We're going to advance here.
March!
And finally,
Ready and awaiting orders.
we can march here.
March!
They're completely unaware that we are going to backstab them. Well, not actually backstabbing. They are currently are rebels. We consider them rebels. This is the last encampment. So it's in the turn here, so we're going to
What do you
deal
require?
with this. With a little bit of sabotage.
Investigating target.
We succeeded with a little amount of probability. Now these guys are not able to reinforce, so let's end the turn. He's trying to send a little bit of reinforcements. There's a rebellion here, you can see. This is the rebel army. And now we send the entire army to here. Let's siege here.
Commence siege! The
Beautiful.
swine rot in the sun.
Now, perhaps we can attack these guys. I'm not sure. Do we do that? I think I'm going to send these guys here.
Forwards! March! Lord?
Yeah, that's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. These guys are not going to dare to get in here.
Your Majesty?
So 3 turns here. Let's try to sabotage this army again. This army is successfully sabotaged.
Watchword is discretion.
Send this guy here, just in case. Then these guys are going to be ready here. So when we give the order, these guys are going to jump in here and attack them. Let's see if we can have more reinforcements for 3 turns, which means a couple of these guys here. It's going to be 4 turns. I think it's more than enough. Send these guys north. As reinforcements. Let's check here, everything is okay.
How may I be of service?
So now in the turn. There we go. Oh, look at this. Okay, a dire situation we are. Look at this. These guys are sending this full stack, even though it's a little bit affected by attrition. He's trying to take this. We cannot allow that, so we're going to finish this by attacking here.
Siege, sir.
Clearly we cannot wait
Infantry elite. Ready and waiting, sir. Orders. Militia at the ready, sir. Yes, sir. Fire on my orders. Following orders.
All right then. Nobody told you to stop working. All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
Private. VMB.
All right then.
Elite.
All right then. Nobody told you to stop working. All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
Drop a chin, Sarge.
Stand to. Here they come.
Nobody told you to stop working. Group orders.
Stand to. Here they come.
Lancers! Reporting!
Yes, sir. At the double.
All right then. Group orders. Nobody told you to stop working.
Double time.
Lancers. At the ready.
Yes, sir. Following orders.
Group orders.
No. Yes, sir.
General Staff, sir.
Orders infantry.
All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
Stand to. Here they come. Grenadiers, stand ready. Following orders. Yes, sir. Infantry reporting. Lancers. Right away.
All right then.
Yes, sir.
Nobody told you to stop working.
On my order. Yes, sir. Lancers.
Are you questioning my right to command? Color Sergeant Moore!
Infantry!
Nobody told you to stop. All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
Lancers! Reporting!
Open fire!
Cepheye bakın.
Engage the enemy!
Bize hücum ediyorlar. Dikkat!
Attention in the ranks.
Yes, sir.
Group orders.
Yes, sir.
All right then.
Yes, sir.
Nobody told you to stop working. All right then. Lancers. Nobody told you to stop working. Order.
Moving out! Militia awaiting orders, sir. Await my command!
Are you questioning my right to command?
Moving out.
Infantry reporting.
Told you to stop working.
Yes, sir.
Infantry.
Close to range.
Now ready.
Nothing to be done for the dead now, lads.
Yes, sir.
General Staff, sir.
Color Sergeant Moore!
Group orders.
quiet now, will you? There's a good gentleman. You'll upset the lad.
General Staff, sir.
Double up, damn it! Colour Sergeant Bourne?
Not, sir. Hands ready. Close to range. General Staff, sir.
Nobody told you to stop working. Nobody told you to stop working.
Lancers! Reporting! Following orders!
All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
General Staff. Orders understood. Close to range.
Double up, damn it!
Squadron! Fight on foot!
Colour Sergeant Bourne?
Sirs, at the ready.
Nobody told you to stop working.
Double up, damn it!
Fire! Cavalry!
All right then. Nobody told you to stop working.
Hayır asker. Buradaki zor adamlar biziz. Piyade emrinizdedir.
Following orders! Following orders!
orders! Following orders! Following orders! Following orders! At the double!
There's a victory for us.
And valor unconquered.
We're going to loot these. Let me see, do we loot Damascus? I think it's worth it. We loot Damascus. So now we have replenishment. The area is in ruins. And finally, of course, because we don't have more time, we are going to attack these guys here. So let's open negotiations with these guys. Let's request the other nation come under your protection. That's a threat. If they are going to refuse, now we can declare war. Their allies are the Bedouins, so we're not going to call our allies. We're just going to attack them. And the Bedouins joined them. So now I'm going to talk with the Bedouins. I'm going to do I present them with the region or something? I don't think. What I'm going to do is to give them payment. I'm going to pay what I sacked, what I looted from Damascus. I'm going to pay them 12,000 sterling pounds to them, and to offer these for a peace treaty and an alliance as well. And they accepted. So now they are friendly, we are allies, and now they betray those guys. Let me see if I can make peace with these guys. Let's make I request peace, trade agreement, and pay them 6,000. They don't want, of course. So now we're going to attack these guys directly here.
Prepare for war. Begin siege.
And definitely this is going to be the last battle that we're going to do. So let me go and do this.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
So eventually it's a victory, and we have achieved the victory conditions.
Raise the flag!
So yeah, this is it. We managed to beat the victory conditions. This is the, of course, the video of Napoleon. I'm going to hit escape here. And as I was saying, this was the Khartum Zulu mod, the Mahdist War of the British Empire. Hope that this was a very enjoyed series for you. As you may know, I am Victus, and I love Total War games, wargaming in general, everything that has to do with grand strategy. If you enjoy the video, support me, share the video, tell the other comrades to join the ranks, and have a great moment. Always enjoy. This was Victus. See you in the next one.